up, Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid.
I'm fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener.
Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm, because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
What up, though, people? It's Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you all for kicking off today with the WUW Crew, and I'm excited about this show. Flannel Sam, just tell the people already what's on the menu before we get into some of the pleasantries.
Oh, we got lots on the menu. Another player did a little public campaigning for Myles Garrett. Love to see that.
Another one.
Probably the most important one you could possibly have do that public campaigning. We are going to talk about that. The salary cap was increased, which could have some ramifications for the Detroit Lions, but to be fair, other teams as well.
How smart was Brad Holmes?
Hey, get into it more when we get to it, because you definitely had something that you wanted to mention that you put in our group chat already. Jameson Williams won't be facing any discipline, and myself and KG will each be breaking down an edge rusher that we wouldn't mind the Lions taking in this upcoming draft. Just a spoiler alert, you guys will probably be a little bit more familiar with my guy than KG's, but that does not mean that KG's segment isn't going to be fire as well. And also, at the end of the show, we've got our very own Justin Satawa in to discuss USA versus Canada and preview the Four Nations final tonight.
Bro, that's a lot, and I'm ecstatic, man. And you know what? Obviously, all eyes are going to be on Team USA. We also have Cade versus Wemby, Pistons versus Spurs to kick off the second half of the NBA season and the Pistons' quest towards 42 wins. Let's go, KG.
Y'all leave me alone, man.
Hey, but you know, it's your boy Brandon Day, KG Trey Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network, Flannel Sam, ball knower, Red Wings correspondent, all sports lover, go blue lover, and I can't wait, especially for these draft profiles. I think you said it right. I am a lot more familiar with the player you're going to profile, but I'm very excited as well for the player that KG's going to profile with. The fact that you all didn't have to, and along with Broder, didn't have too many misses during last year's draft season. So I can't wait. Chat family, as always, you guys are the most important part of this thing. Go ahead and smash that like button. It's going to be a great show. And I'm so glad that you put this first, because I remember yesterday we were deliberating on like how the rundown should go.
Yeah.
And when this news broke, the first person I thought of was KG, and then the second thing I thought of was how well I believed the WUW Crew, Wake Up Woodward, handled when this news initially broke from some of KG's old friends. And the first thing that KG mentioned was, look, man, he did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And all we've seen from there is all of the different authorities, from the Detroit Lions to the Detroit Police to the NFL, have all said, you know what, J-Mo's good by us in our book. This man meant no harm, no intent, no foul, and it's a non-story. That's what it should have always been, but it got the light of day due to, I understand it. Sometimes you got to get those clicks up, huh?
Yeah.
It's a slow news day.
It's part of the media game, man.
Flannels accused us of that.
Yeah.
It's
part of the media game.
And certified friend of the network, as well as probably the biggest name in NFL social media, Adam Schefter actually posted a tweet. Detroit Lions wideout Jameson Williams will not face discipline from the NFL for carrying an unlicensed gun, with the league spokesman telling the Detroit Free Press on Monday that the matter is closed. And that's certainly good news. I like the idea of Jameson Williams going into next season. Hopefully the suspensions are all behind him. He's coming off of an 1,000-yard year and just ready to play a full season, duplicate the production that he had in this previous year, and just become a fan favorite and win over people like myself, who has often been accused of being a Jameson Williams hater. But to be fair, I can't say shit because he got me that 1,000 yards and I wore that jersey. Suck it, Devin the dog.
And you know what, bro? You look cool in the jersey too, man.
Thank you.
You really do. What up, though, KG? Because you were spot on right away. And I like to make sure like people know, since we cover this thing, and You were spot on right away, brother.
Well, once again, as a registered gun owner, I kind of know the ins and outs of, like, you know, what's right and what's wrong. So I
just let y'all know I'm strapped.
Yeah, I just gotta let y'all know out there. Don't try it. Don't try it. But
Black Hollywood.
no, but seriously, when this came down, I knew it was kind of a non-story, and it's just it's messed up that it got this kind of media attention. Then you follow that up with the fact that he had a 2-game suspension, which we still don't know what the suspension was really about. But if you want to put 2 and 2 together, this happened right before that. NFL had to do something, so it is what it is. But
packs,
I'll sit up here and assume, but Jameson Williams is not a bad guy. He's never been a bad guy. He's never been a locker room problem. Everybody loves him, and I do understand he's not perfect. There are things that he needed to mature with. There are things that he needed to learn on the football field, but aside from that, Jameson Williams has come in here and been as advertised, at least this past year. We finally got a chance to see what Jameson Williams can do once he has a full season, once he's able to go out there and be a focal point in the offense. And I look forward to his growth, man. He's still a young kid. He has a lot more growing to do, but I think he's on the right path now. It's been a couple years. Yep. He's gotten some of the preliminary stuff out of the way, and I just think going forward, he has, you know, an open road to just be Jameson Williams and be great on the football field.
And you know what really spoke volumes to me is this. There were multiple kind of controversies from multiple different angles that the Detroit Lions face. Some as it relates to just, do we want to bring this player back as it relates to a CJ, He didn't necessarily fit the culture towards the end of the season. You saw that. You also had a guy that we call Sutton Toast. And you saw the situation, and the Lions wasted no time with assessing, trying to make contact, and moving on quickly. Rod Wood stepped to that like, hey, we tried.
Yeah.
And bye-bye. And that's what it was. With Jameson Williams, they stepped right into the spotlight. Dan Campbell stepped right up to it and said, straight up, listen, is there some things that we hope he continues to mature on? Yes. But we know exactly the type of person he is. We know the type of player he is. Effectively, this is a non-story. Let's move on. That, to me, speaks volume. This organization doesn't just sit by and harbor, you know, players with ill intent or ill will. They've been, honestly, I think, an organization that's helped Jameson Williams in his maturation. When you hear him talk about Dan Campbell, when you hear him talk about Teddy Two Gloves, those are the types of things that matter to me. When you hear him admit, yeah, I had to mature. Yeah, I need to be better in these situations. That's all that I need to hear, man.
And this is why him being in the Lions organization is kind of what's worked to his advantage, because you have a lot of guys in that building that were players that understand the experience that Jameson Williams is going through and some of the things that he's had to deal with. So just being able to have that and not have coaches or coordinators judge you for some of these things, because in other organizations, they might not give you the benefit of the doubt, but they have done everything. Hey, J-Mo, as long as you show up and you work hard, we'll look out for you. And that seems to be the Lions' track record, and I'm just so glad that they were able to be patient with him, because now you're starting to reap the results of that, man. So I look forward to what he can do next.
And that's why at this point I can't say shit. I was an accused hater, and maybe there was some merit to it in his first couple of years. I thought I had a leg to stand on back then, but even with the suspension that Jameson Williams had this year, he still got 1,000 yards receiving. I didn't expect it, I'll be honest. I called for slightly over 1,000 total yards between receiving and rushing, but Jameson Williams proved me wrong. I got that jersey, and who knows if he's reached a point in his maturity where he's got the full trust of Jared Goff. He's an integral part of this offense. He's got the full trust of the coaching staff, and some of those minor attention to details mishaps that got him suspended a couple of times before are behind him. Maybe that was the first of many 1,000-yard seasons. I'm sure most people here think so, because there's a guy that with one reception could be on pace for it with just one reception for 60 yards in a game, and I expect him to do that if he's fully healthy at least 3, 4, 5 times next year.
And that's honestly, I agree with everything you just said. I remember doing an episode with Terry Foster, and I think I was in the sound booth with Woodward and May, Matt Broder. Shout out to the legend, Matt Broder, the young legend, and to the old legend, Terry Foster. And we were talking about, hey, who's going to lead the Detroit Lions in receptions this first game? I believe that new money man Amon-Ra was going to have a lot of attention on him. And with the fact that, like you said, Jameson Williams, it just takes really 2 catches for him to get to 100 yards. Yeah. That's a weapon. It's special. And what did he do? He went out there and he led in receptions, I believe, that first week. So I'm looking forward to what he can be next year as it relates to staying out of trouble completely, keeping the noise completely away, having another season where you're locked into the lab with Jared Goff, with John Morton, getting comfortable with whatever the system is going to be, and being ready for the expectation. It's one thing when they say, okay, I'm trying to prove that I can be depended on, versus now you're there. Now people are definitely scheming for you. They're not just letting him run around this next offseason. He's going to be a player that you have to scheme for because you understand the big play potential he has, and I'm hoping that from the maturity standpoint and from how he works in his offseason, that's also a part of it, man. Making sure that you are taking those steps forward across the board, on and off the field.
Yep. And before we move on to Aidan Hutchinson, I just got to respond to this from Skydog, my favorite person. Haters love using the word maturity and can't stop talking about the suspensions. Well, Dan Campbell used the word maturity, and it's
Jameson Williams used.
Yeah,
the
Jameson
word
Williams
himself.
used it. And suspensions, no matter. That's why I use the words attention to detail. Was the gambling rule a little bit dumb? Sure. Was the banned substance rule probably a little bit dumb? Sure. That's what I mean when it comes to maturity. Just honing in on those details, and I don't think it'll ever happen again with him. So you can't just pretend that it never happened, but what you can do is acknowledge that despite all of that, he had his 1,000 yards, which is really the benchmark. That's where you prove that you were completely worth the 12th overall pick, and for him to continue to be available for all of the games. And the only reason that he misses is because, God forbid, a potential injury, but you never know.
Yeah. Once again, we're not saying he's perfect, but he's not bad.
Yep, he's not a bad guy.
And that's been the problem the whole time. There was some things, in his trajectory that maybe he could have avoided. But overall, he's never been a problem. Otherwise, he wouldn't even be on this team.
Exactly. Thank you, man. That was a great summary. And it's just one more thing. I don't even want to disrespect who he is as a player in terms of the growth. Some of those 1,000 yards, a lot of that 1,000 yards came from the growth he made catching the ball across the middle as well.
Yeah.
Like his hands.
Wasn't all
everything.
deep shots. He's a complete receiver.
Man, you know what? We got to get to the next segment as well, because this is when I got me super fired up. Like, it just won't stop. Because every time we post a graphic about it to socials, every time we post a subject about it, they're like, it's never going to happen. Stop talking about it. Yam, yam, yam. Well, tell that to Aidan Hutchinson.
Yeah. Damn, I almost brought the lotion in for today's show. But anywho.
Whoa. Wait, what? Huh? Oh, wait.
Anywho,
Freaky
Planet
ass this.
Fitness, where you should never use lotion. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a totally judgment-free atmosphere. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training for no extra cost? Want all the perks? Upgrade to the PF Black Card and enjoy use of amenities such as unlimited use of the Black Card Spa featuring hydro massage, massage chairs, and total body enhancement, and more, along with access to over 2,500 locations worldwide and unlimited guest privileges. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or planetfitness.com.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. Do yourself a favor, scan that QR code on screen, use code word Woodward1000. You can deposit up to $1,000, but all you have to do is place a minimum of a $20 bet, and you know what? If it doesn't hit, they will throw it right back into your account with no questions asked. It's Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. Go out and make yourself some money today. 4 Nations, baby. Let's do it.
4 Nations, man. USA. I'm going to be in the building tonight. I know Flannel's going to be in the building, as well as other Woodward Sports personalities. Why? Because we got the live watch party at RJ's Pub in Rochester Hills. I cannot wait. I can't wait, man. It's electric, man. It's when you put the USA on there, when you have some players that are going out there and playing from a place of passion, I can get behind that.
Oh, yeah.
Take notes, NBA, because the skill, the passion, the rivalry, everything that mattered with hockey was on display in that. And so I can't wait. We are, like I said, once again, RJ's Pub, Rochester Hills. And this is brought to you by Bitter Times as well as RJ's Pub. It's going to be electric tonight. So can't wait to be there. But we got to talk about Aidan Hutchinson before we get there. Cavassier Chase is in the building. What up, though, brother?
How's it going, guys? Good morning, everybody.
It's going good, man. Shout out to our brother Matthew Broder and that dude Justin, this elite booth as well. Gonna put KG on the spot. What up, though, KG? I see.
Let me turn my mic on. No, I got you. But hey man, feeling good, bro. Really excited for today's show, man. Y'all know what it is, man.
I'm ecstatic because last year you guys, like I said again, crushed draft coverage. I can't wait for those segments. We got JB Smooth, Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth. It looks like you're ready for a Red Wings and USA hockey today.
And just put me in, coach. That's all I gotta say. Put me in. More than 42 wins over here. More than 42.
I was just gonna compliment your merch game, but no, man, I'm good.
Hey, but you know what? Let's kick this thing off, man. We got to talk about Aidan Hutchinson and the fact that this noise is not going to go away as long as people like Aidan Hutchinson continues to make it a story.
And who would you rather hear all this from than Aidan Hutchinson? He made an appearance on Taylor Lautner's podcast again, in which he...
Friend of the network, Taylor Lautner.
Friend of the network. Old Twilight heartthrob Taylor
Right.
Lautner
Like,
as well. I'm Team Edward personally, but I won't hold that against him. I very much am Team...
I'm
I was
saying
a
nobody.
big...
That movie
What's the
sucked.
matter with people with locks, man?
That movie sucked, bro.
I was a
I'm not
big
Twilight
Twilight
fan.
guy, and
That
I'm a
movie
big
wasn't
Twilight guy, but
terrible.
we don't need to get into that now.
Right,
Anywho,
watch pale white people. I'm sorry.
It was sparkly white people.
I started it. I can't even scold
Maybe if
anybody.
it had more action, it would have been all right.
Anywho,
Sparkly.
JB, would you like to play the comments that Aidan Hutchinson made when asked about Myles Garrett?
I got you.
I did see a photo of you talking to Myles Garrett.
That's
at the
right.
NFL honors.
That's right. Hey, I mean, Myles. If me and Myles were to pair up, that would be deadly.
I don't know if
you
you've
know
seen anything like it.
I know. I was talking to him. We were at the honors, and we were just talking about what could be, and although it's probably unlikely, I think I would be thrilled to play next to him if it were to happen. But yeah, our whole D line would be like just totally elevated, and we would. That'd be a scary defensive line, and we get along too. I think I've seen him these last few years at different things. He texted me after I got hurt, which I don't know, it was just a cool thing. Like guys outside of your own team who reach out to you. I think so. I think he's a good dude, and if he does, great. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. But that would be awesome.
That would be crazy.
I'm fired up, man. Let's go. I'm fired up. When you hear Aidan Hutchinson talking like that, that's when I'm going to tell the social team, make another 20 graphics of Myles Garrett to Detroit. All we've seen is this team put on a full court press in person, in podcasts, at award shows. It doesn't matter. They'll pull up on you. And they're just like, hey, Myles Garrett, Let's rock over here. And I like that this team is doing this. It shows me that their mindset, yes, whether he's here or not, their mindset is win a Super Bowl, but there's no egos here. This team just wants all the reinforcements they can get to make sure they can punch that ticket for the city of Detroit. And I can't wait, man. I can't wait to see how this turns out.
You know something that, and I'll hold myself responsible for this as well, that I don't think has been talked about enough on this network. Like I said, myself included, I should have brought this up sooner. Aidan Hutchinson brings up the fact that him and Myles Garrett as bookend edge rushers would be deadly, and that's obvious. Anybody can see that. We obviously haven't seen it in practice, but just in terms of maybe the two best edge rushers in the game on the same team, that's unbelievable. The closest thing we've seen to it in recent history was in the 2015 Broncos with DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller. Von Miller was obviously at the time one of the best edge rushers in the game, probably top 3. DeMarcus Ware was still pretty damn good, but he was a little past his prime, but very effective. Those guys, you know what they did? They were a part of probably the last dominant defense in the NFL. They won a Super Bowl with Peyton Manning not being Peyton Manning. In that regular season, he had 9 touchdowns and 17 interceptions. And he actually missed a couple of games, I think, due to plantar fasciitis in his foot. And you know who his backup was? Brock Osweiler. And do you know what these two guys did in the Super Bowl? They basically created a bookend edge rushers that made Cam Newton's life as miserable as the Eagles just made Patrick Mahomes's. This, Myles Garrett and Aidan Hutchinson, I think would be even better than what Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware were. And the Lions have a great offense on the other side. Jared Goff in this offense right now is miles better than washed Peyton Manning and their offense was in 2015. And that team won the Super Bowl. So if I couldn't get bricked up anymore, it just happened. I am going to need to call the doctor at some point. I promise you.
Easy said speak. He said, Easy said, talk that talk, Flannel.
Hey,
and you know what? Weezy D said, stop acting desperate. Who's he talking to? Somebody else in the chat. But Hoof-hearted.
Weezy doesn't want Myles Garrett. He's made it very clear that he doesn't want Myles Garrett.
Yeah, I saw Hoof earlier as well in the chat. Man, dog, I hate the way the system moves. If you could find Hoof's chat for me in there. But
yeah, let me see.
As you said, man, as it relates to being any more bricked up, any more fired up, I don't know how much more I can be. The question I ask is, how much more plausible or possible does it make Myles Garrett to Detroit if all of your dogs are saying this?
Yeah.
All of your dogs are saying bring him in. I know that we trust Brad Holmes, but to know that Brad Holmes was knocking on the door of some pretty, what we were assuming or hoping to be available edge rushers like Max Crosby and the Raiders, that report came out. That, to me, says that Brad Holmes is ready to deal that deal. I don't believe that he's knocking on their door and he doesn't believe that it's going to be a king's ransom that's going to be needed to be able to get a Max Crosby. The issue is this. The Raiders just said, we're not trading him to you. And so that's where I'm just like, I wonder where Brad Holmes' head is. I would feel like the players would know something to a degree, and that's where I'm hoping that if they won't let this thing die, that there is a possibility more so than what we hear from a lot of fans who I think we just don't want to be let down or hurt.
I think we need to start the campaign of, Brad Holmes, if you don't do this, then you don't appreciate the input of your players. You're that uppity GM that just doesn't care what the players want.
Flannel playing hardball.
No, but I found a Hoof-Hearted's chat. Real talk, if the Lions get Myles Garrett, I think you could take a random person from this chat to be defensive coordinator, and then Chuck Brewer. Just not Sam. Good one. but
it's a nice follow-up.
That is funny.
Jab uppercut.
But that's the thing. We're talking about, and this is what I referenced earlier about them having this potential dominant defense while having the best offense. Remember how I mentioned yesterday that John Morton is inheriting a Lamborghini, that I could probably call plays and they'd be top half of the league in NFL in scoring. Are we having a situation where I could be both the offensive and defensive coordinator of the Lions, and because of the talent and personnel that they have, that they would still be a good team? They'd probably still make the playoffs.
All while you're also manager of the Tigers.
All while I'm manager of the Tigers, and all while I'm still on Wake Up Woodward. Me and KG and KG Shepard would be about as busy as each other. We would take turns never sleeping. But the point is that we all know that Myles Garrett on this team, and he's not the only one, by the way, but Myles Garrett because this is who Aidan Hutchinson specifically commented on, would make this team and this defense an absolute cheat code. I mentioned how deadly that Broncos defense was with DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller playing bookend edge rushers, dominated the regular season, dominated the playoffs, helped the Broncos win the Super Bowl, really carried a subpar offense to win the Super Bowl. So with what the possibilities, as I've said before, the possibilities for this Lions team, if they were able to get a Myles Garrett, is to be one of these teams that is talked about in NFL lore for years to come, like the 85 Bears, like the 72 Dolphins, like the 2007 Patriots would have been if they would have won the Super Bowl. One of those historic type teams, because we have never seen this in NFL history. We have never seen maybe the two best edge rushers in the NFL on the same team. And I love the fact that Aidan Hutchinson, he embraces that challenge and he wants it. He understands.
He does. And you know what? KP seems to be the only person in the chat who's for this thing. He said, F them picks. Let's do 3 first-round picks, whatever it takes. But everybody else is like, he ain't coming here. That's Philly. JZJ, I can't see it happening, but I don't know ish. Everybody's just kind of on that wavelength, and I think it's because this is something that feels so too good to be true. And even though the Tigers struck out on Bregman, to a degree, it still was too good to be true when the reports came out that they literally offered him 6 to 7 years. They offered him some money, and they said, no, we're not going to let you out your contract earlier than we want to let you out. I actually like that. I appreciated hearing that from him. So I'm just like, you know what? Anything's possible. I know when Zadarius Smith got here, there was a lot of people who were wondering, is he going to do anything? We knew that he needed to, and when they did it, we remember how people responded and how people reacted. So, you know, if this was a situation to where it was just what we wanted, we probably wouldn't be up here talking about it right now. But every single week, we continue to hear another Detroit Lions player talk about it, and we all know what this could mean. They're in this to win a Super Bowl, especially right now. What are you doing during Jared Goff's next contract?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And those are serious questions. I don't think Brad Holmes is just sitting back for right now, just playing for right now, because he does talk about the longevity. But that means that you got to take advantage of your windows that you have right now, and I do believe Myles Garrett pushes you to the top of the line.
And that's what – and I get it. There's a lot of people who don't want to get their hopes up, and I understand coming at it from that point of view. My thing is that we have Myles Garrett requesting a trade. He said why he requested a trade is he wants to win. The Lions would give him, I think, maybe the best situation to jump into. And we've seen David Montgomery comment on it, and we've seen Aidan Hutchinson comment on it. The guy who would be the bookend with him, Amon-Ra, has commented on it. I almost forgot about him. He's commented on it as well. Of course we are going to talk about it. We understand that there are a lot of teams that could use a Myles Garrett. We understand that there's teams that have cap space that's comparable and even more than the Lions that could do this deal as well. It's just, isn't it fun to think of the potential possibilities? Because, as I said, is there any situation better for, I don't want to say ring chasing because he's still elite, but wanting to go to a winning situation than the Lions right now if they're fully healthy?
Especially when you talk about people say, oh man, we can't stop a running quarterback. Imagine if you could just focus on sending for and then just stocking up your linebackers, stocking up your cornerbacks, especially the ones that can play in that middle a little bit more, like Brian Branch. That gives you so much more, so much more. And when you talk about the type of quarterback Jared Goff is, I do believe adding a little bit more pressure on the other side of that ball helps everybody. You get that ball back into the hands of the offense, you give them more opportunities to get into a rhythm. And we saw what happens in those types of situations, especially when Carlton Davis went out there and got those 2 interceptions, and Jared Goff was able to turn right around and turn those into points. And that's where I'm just like, why, this helps everything. We talk about Terry Arnold. We talk about they only have so many spots to make improvements right now. Thank goodness the cap space went up. But
well, on that in a second.
I know. But if you bring him Myles Garrett, I just feel like it solves so many different problems in one fell swoop, and it's with a player who wants to win a Super Bowl so bad. And you know what, man? I'm seeing the chat. The chat is alive. Some of them are saying, what about a Trey Hendrickson? I see Ryan's reaction asked about that. Easy believes that Trey Hendrickson is 1,000% less likely to get than Myles Garrett.
Well, according to Easy, this is just what he says, is that he thinks that Trey Hendrickson wants to get paid. And Trey Hendrickson also, he's only under contract for 1 more year.
Yeah.
So that would be a lot riskier. You'd probably have to give up less. And for the record, I've said it before and I've said it again, Trey Hendrickson and Aidan Hutchinson would be deadly as well, especially if you keep Zadarius Smith, make that rotation, Aleem, Reeder, and all of that. But Myles Garrett is the prize.
It has been reported over the last couple days, though, that the Bengals are attempting to lock up everybody. That means Trey Hendrickson. That means the receivers. It seems like they're actually trying to keep their team together for once over there. So I would love a Trey Hendrickson. Like I said, Myles Garrett may not be the solution, but it's not over until it's over. And I think fans need to realize that Brad Holmes and the Lions organization has more than enough ammunition to go ahead and make a move like this if they see fit. It's just all about the negotiation, and it's all about, paying him once he gets in the building, because I believe he does want a new contract, but that would also take off some of the draft compensation. So I don't think it'd be as much as people think it would take to get this done. It's just about what Cleveland wants or is willing to accept in order to give him up. And the players are doing their part. I mean, players want to play with other great players, so I expect that out of them. But if Brad wants to make this move, he can go make this move. It's just about what are the terms, what are the details.
Yeah, and then obviously the Browns, they have to be the ones to make that move as well, because even though he requested it, has anybody heard if the Browns are going to actually grant that for him? And I'm hoping that is still the case. And I remember somebody else raised that. I don't know why you would, with a player like of Myles Garrett's caliber, why you wouldn't grant him his ability to go out there and chase this ring, especially at this stage in his career.
And that's where I think the Lions have an advantage that a team like the Chargers, who have the cap space and could use a Myles Garrett as well, especially with Khalil Mack being a free agent, the Lions have an advantage in that the Browns, if you're the Cleveland Browns, I think you'd be weary about trading Myles Garrett to another AFC team just to potentially give him a chance to torment you even more down the road. Trade him to a team where you'll only see them in the Super Bowl and you're the freaking Browns. So that's over anyway.
Yeah. I see Broder in the chat. Shout out to our brother Broder, as well as Easy again. He says, Easy, what up, though, baby? Hutch and Garrett would be the best edge rush duo ever, right?
Yes.
It's hard to argue.
Goodness gracious.
I gave you one that was somewhat comparable, but with an out-of-prime DeMarcus Ware, and they carried the Broncos to the Super Bowl. And another similarity between that Broncos team and what the Lions team would potentially have, you can say that the Broncos team had a more complete defense around those two edges, but at the same time, they had an elite cornerback duo in Aqib Talib and Chris Harris Jr. The Lions have an elite safety duo. So,
and you know what? If he is on the move, you said this best. Keep him. Yeah, it's almost like addition by subtraction by addition. BNR J Black says if we don't get Myles, keep him in the AFC, because you already know some of these other teams. Like when you said this, do you want to see the Commanders get him? Heck no.
But would the Browns trade him to the AFC? That's the thing. But maybe an AFC team can offer the Browns the best.
And that's the thing. If he's coming, but if he's coming to the NFC, why not the Lions?
Yeah. That would be the best spot, and I think that's something that the Lions should continue to pursue. And one of the reasons why there should never ever be talk about Myles Garrett and the money he makes again and relate to the cap is because the cap's going up. And we are going to talk about that. I love it when transitions can be thrown up for me like a nice lob, like I'm DeAndre Jordan and the transition is Chris Paul. But first, tell us about merch.
Why you dunked on Brandon Knight like that?
Merch. There will be some Myles Garrett merch if he makes his way to Detroit. But I'm telling you right now, head over to woodwardshop.com. We've got new designs dropping every single week for you. We got the Woodward Tigers up there, as you can see. And you can't forget about the LFG Red Wings hoodies, t-shirts that we got as well, too. Four Nations is coming up very soon tonight. Hopefully we get some that merch up there as well, too. But head over to woodwardsports.com. Click on that shop tab. Get swagged out. We got everything you need.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. We got Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
At Lady James, we take the charge of getting a haircut. Our talented stylist will deliver an industry-leading haircut, relaxing scalp massage, a hot lather neck shave, that's my favorite, and a hot towel treatment.
Towel placement varies.
Make sure you guys ask first. Don't suggest. It's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady James Haircuts for men. It's wicked awesome. Hey, and we are back, and it is Wake Up Woodward. And you know what, man? I gotta say what up, though, and shout out to the social team and to the people as well for NBA All-Star. We started running just some of the numbers. Over 1.3 million. Like in a highlight-less NBA All-Star weekend, over 1.3 million impressions, man. Over 32,000 likes. Over 31,000, approaching 32, and that was just within the first 24 hours of the event. So shout out to you all, shout out to Travis and everybody involved with making that go. But something happened in the NFL, and it kind of caught my ears, my eyes, and it made my ears perk up just a little bit. Per Dan Graziano, ESPN, the NFL Today informed teams that the 2025 per team salary cap will fall in the range of $277.5 million to $281.5 million, way up from last year's $255.4 million cap.
Wow.
Cap will have increased by more than $53 million over the last 2 years, and my mind instantly went to, brother, how smart was Brad Holmes to lock up his dogs last year? Now this cap is going way up. How much better does a contract like Jared Goff's look when you're getting, $25+ million added to your cap space?
Sure, and that's one of that to me, the biggest benefit of this cap space bump is obviously it makes the St. Brown, Sewell, and Goff deals look a lot better, even though I don't think most of us had a problem with them at the time. We're talking about, because the reality is everybody's cap space goes up. So every other team, the teams that are ahead of the Lions in cap space get even more. There are certain teams like the Packers and the Eagles and the 49ers who didn't have a ton or had varying levels of less than the Lions, but now all of a sudden could get themselves into some sweepstakes where maybe they otherwise wouldn't. That's why I think the biggest benefit of this is the Lions have drafted very well as of late. That's not a secret at all. You've got guys from the 2022 draft like Jameson Williams, like Aidan Hutchinson, and like Kirby Joseph who are potentially looking for an extension. I mean, Jameson Williams had 1,000 yards last year. Kirby Joseph, first-team All-Pro safety, led the NFL in interceptions, and Aidan Hutchinson was on a Defensive Player of the Year pace before he got hurt. Maybe you can, I'm not going to say keep everybody, but maybe you can keep more people than you thought. Maybe you can throw a couple extra dollars at somebody to entice them to stay. Maybe you can re-sign Carlton Davis, who's a spot track like market value, at least suspected market value is $14 million. Maybe Levi O, Zeitler. I'm just saying, I think that this is going to benefit the most from the Lions maybe being able to re-sign guys who are up for being re-signed, and maybe like Carlton Davis, possible?
I like Kirby, man. Listen, Shad was already on there. He said we can pay Hutch and Kirby with room to spare for Myles Garrett.
Right.
You're thinking, Shad. Voice of reason. What up, though, man? This cap space is going up. Like I said, my mind went to instantly how this benefits the Lions. And to Flannel's point, everybody is able to benefit with this cap space, but you know what? Not everybody got a Brad Holmes. Not everybody has a front office like this Lions team who's shown to be savvy. But I'm hoping that this cap space mixed with some of the results of their previous free agents helps Brad Holmes take a little bit of a different approach as it relates to some of those injured players, like a Davenport. But in large part, this is a really, really good thing, obviously, for the Lions. When you lock up guys like Amon-Ra, Penei Sewell, and you're looking to lock up more. It felt like we were just having this conversation a couple months ago of, you know, with where they are right now, obviously you cannot pay everybody. We know some of the guys that are going to come back, but that there might be some casualties. Part of me does even wonder with a guy like Iffy, when this cap space goes up, does this bring someone like him back into conversation?
You know what's funny is that Iffy doesn't even have an estimated market value. Neither does Derek Barnes. They don't. Tim Patrick, Kevin Zeitler, Levi O, and Carlton Davis do. And let me just say, I don't need to repeat all of them. You could, in theory, re-sign all of them. I'm not saying that estimated market value is the gospel or anything, but you could re-sign all of them and get after Myles Garrett and maybe do an extension or two. I'm not saying that that's what Brad is going to do or if that's even necessarily wise, but if you're the Detroit Lions, if you have a GM as savvy as Brad Holmes, all this is going to benefit the Detroit Lions more than even teams that have more cap space because we got Brad Holmes. A lot of organizations still are not smart.
I mean, we got Brad Holmes, and as you said, Kool-Aid, not a lot of teams have a GM like this that is 2 steps ahead, that's thinking ahead for next season, the future seasons as well. And it's like he's not playing around. He's like, let's get these guys signed under the book so, like, you know, we don't have to worry about it. And now you have this flexibility that you can play around with some of this money. You can see, like, what would it cost to get over here a Myles Garrett? What would it cost to re-sign, as you said, a Kirby or Aidan, someone like that? So now it's like you can just relax. You don't have to worry. You don't have to stress anymore. Brad's got this under control.
Yeah, because I remember even when it was just last week we were talking about $4.5 million for Levi O, right? Mm-hmm. And you were like, I guess with the new cap space, does it make you a little less if that was the play?
Yeah, I mean, it was more so just based on the player, and there's no disrespect to him, but the number was never really the issue. But with getting more cap space, it does make a move like that more possible. And that's the great thing about having a Brad Holmes that is so great with the pocketbook. I mean, he's been one of the best in terms of managing the cap, in terms of freeing up a lot of money for us. And like you said, he paid our guys early in the process, man, to where those contracts, they continue to go down and further down the list. Now, it doesn't guarantee that we'll keep every single person because that's just the NFL. You're not going in this thing with a lot of the people that you came in it with. That's just the unfortunate reality. But
other teams won't let us. We're seeing that right now.
Exactly. But it does allow you, like JB said, some more flexibility. You know, the chance to think about some things, the chance to maybe keep a couple more people than you thought you may have been able to, and then go out and pursue bigger names as well, maybe like a Myles Garrett.
Because I think it makes the F them picks that much more possible now because you do have more cash to be able to supplement. But Flannel, Stephen Baffy says, I think I would rather have Levi Onwuzurike, Carlton Davis III, and Derek Barnes than Myles Garrett, not to mention the picks Holmes would make. You know, when you see this cap space, what strategy does your mind first go towards wanting to bolster?
Well, I would say that you can have all of that and Myles Garrett.
Hey,
with a cap space bump, because right now the Lions have about $55 million. So in theory, they would get between 77 and 80 or something like that.
Something like that.
You would have enough, and that also gives you the possibility too of, because there's a lot of teams in the Myles Garrett sweepstakes. I would suspect that there's probably teams that might be able to offer even a better deal. That's to be seen. You also, with this cap space bump, are you a little bit more, I don't want to say quick on the trigger, but open to the idea of Khalil Mack, giving him like two,
Josh Sweat,
DeMarcus Lawrence, giving Khalil Mack maybe 2 years, $48 million, so that he can ring chase and be the DeMarcus Lawrence to Aidan Hutchinson's Von Miller. I'm just saying.
Dirty Dr. D says that's real talk, Sam.
Yeah. And that's what's so great about it all. And that's why I don't think us Lions fans should be super concerned with salary cap as of right now. The only concern that you should have when it comes to a Myles Garrett trade, for example, if you want to be like Anson and just hold on to the picks like it's his binky or something, I can at least understand that even though I disagree. I can't even tell you how much I disagree. But right now, money and Myles Garrett should not even be a question.
Yeah.
Money in terms of extending even Kirby and Aidan, once you see that he's back on the field healthy, should not even be a question because the Lions have a lot to spend.
Yeah, Ryan's reaction said, F them picks equals no rookie contract, no Brad Holmes advantage, and an already bloated contract. Hey, you know what? There's a million different ways to look at it. This is going to be one of the most intriguing off seasons, in my opinion, for the Lions because of everything that it means.
Yeah.
We've seen now that they're ready to go. They're right there at the cusp. And now you're at this kind of split of a strategy. We've seen him do things differently each year to try and bolster the trenches, especially on the defensive line. So this was a year at first I was thinking, hey, go defense. But if there are going to be some options out there in the free agent and acquisition market that can step in right away and kind of give you premium, give you top notch, give you top level effort from that defensive line rather than having to learn on the fly, I'm just more in line with that one, man.
Yeah.
Super Bowl expectation.
Just one quick thing. And Herb Nash. Are Lions holding that cap space, though, to extend players? And I will say this. I don't think that should scare you away from a Myles Garrett or backup plans like a Khalil Mack or a DeMarcus Lawrence, or maybe even if you want to go on the interior like a Milton Williams or somebody like that, or even at corner if you can't re-sign Carlton like Charvarius Ward or DJ Reed. However, if you want to let a Levi O or a Zeitler walk or somebody like that, even though they don't make a ton of money, or Iffy or Barnes, in anticipation of a potential Branch extension, Laporta extension, Gibbs, Campbell, probably not going to extend them all, but just giving examples, I'm okay with that.
Real quick before we move on, obviously with Levi O, if he walks, he walks. Zeitler, you guys okay with that one?
With him walking?
If they let him go?
I wouldn't want to see him go, but he's up there in age, although he is still productive.
I want to see him for at least this season coming up.
Yeah, no, I'd make no mistake. He's still very productive for where he is at in his career, and I would love to see him back because I feel like he did a great job, not just in pass protection like we all knew he would, but also in terms of the run game as well. I would like to see him back, but it's just all about what the Lions want to do and what his number may actually be.
Yeah, as far as Kevin Zeitler, his estimated market value is $9 million. Would I give Kevin Zeitler $9 million? Sure.
For 1 year?
Would it break my heart if he left? Glasgow and Mahogany isn't the most ideal, but
our Vanderlei wants CD3 and Zeitler resigned, man.
I would love to see it. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
Because now that Mahogany looked damn promising.
Yeah.
But it was only really one regular season game and one playoff game. And Graham Glasgow, he was just kind of bad last year.
Yeah, he's
starting
to phase out a little bit. But there is still moves to be made in the draft in terms of interior offensive linemen, and they could do something in free agency. So
just one more quick one. I see Big Dan Davis in the chat. He wants Darius Slay. He wouldn't mind a return.
Yes.
Yeah, what does he cost? Sure.
Yeah, I love it. I mean,
Slay said he only wanted to play for Philly or
Detroit.
Yeah.
I will say this: I don't think he's a Carlton Davis replacement.
No.
I just
he's still damn good though.
He should have never been traded. Like that
point blank period. He should have been a Lion his whole career.
But shout out to him. He got his ring.
Yeah.
He got his ring.
Shout out to him too, still being cool with Detroit, man.
And that's somebody who I think everybody was truly happy for, even if you don't like the Eagles.
Oh no, Slay is the man.
Yeah.
Got a chance to meet him in person. He is the man.
But it's
cool
like
people.
it's Darius Slay, bro.
Yeah.
Like he still came back to Detroit after being with the Eagles and going to different high schools and giving out shoes and showing up to people's games, still supporting the players that he had relationships here. When you hear some people talk about we was in the city, Darius was one of those guys that was in the city.
No, literally in the city.
Yeah,
I met him at Cuzzo's Chicken and Waffle. Just on the most random shit ever, man. I met him, but he was cool as hell, man. He real personable.
Was
like
that
he good people. Yeah, on Livernois and 7 Mile. Yeah. This is the most random meetup. I'm like, that's Darius Slay in the back. Like, but no, he cool people, man. Shout out to him, man.
No, Shad's spitting on this one.
Oh, man. What does Shad say?
Shad is, let me pull it up. Honestly, the Lions were a Super Bowl team before all the injuries. Just getting those guys healthy and just trading for Garrett would put the Lions over the top. Hey, and Matt Broder, shout out to you. I didn't get to it at the time, but he said that if you trade for Matt Broder for Myles Garrett and nothing else.
Or Matt Broder.
Yeah.
You can trade for Matt Broder, too.
If you trade for Myles Garrett and do nothing else, it's an A+ offseason. Yes.
Yeah. You're on the mind, Matt Broder. We love you, bro. Hey, you know what? Let's get into this next segment because we got to break down a couple potential draft prospects to the Lions.
We do.
You're going to like my guy. Or you might have some allegations, one or the other, probably a little bit of both.
Right, probably a little bit of both.
Listen, when you talk about speed rushers,
yeah,
I like it, man. But I'm also intrigued by your profile.
I think I got a future star in this league.
A future star?
I'm willing to go out on a ledge and say it. I think he will be a future star in this league.
All right.
Yeah. Are we going to be able to draft him if we also trade for Myles Garrett?
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Probably not, though. Probably not. But it's fine. If we get Myles Garrett, that would shut any other conversation up. I don't care about it. Like Broder said in the chat, if you get Myles Garrett and do nothing else this offseason, it's an A+ offseason.
Just go to Cancun the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Wait for the season to start.
I think Terrion and Ennis Rakestraw and Amik Robertson would look a lot better.
Man, what?
Yeah.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and every Thursday during Ermanni and Edwards, where he's offering top-notch injury advice. You guys got to trust the guy that DMAC trusts. Why? Because Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. We got Tully, everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Hello! You may wonder why I am standing up with a stick mic. You'll find out in a second. Dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White & Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesales.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
Hey, what up, though, people? And we are back. It is Wake Up Woodward. And you know what? We got to get into this draft coverage. Our draft prospects that we're going to profile today, these next two segments brought to you by the Feldman Automotive Group. Shout out to Feldman Automotive, man. And I know that you have some history with Feldman as well.
I do. Got myself a car.
got yourself a car. Hey, you know, got yourself a car. Hey, but you know what? Flannel Sam today is going to break down our first prospect today. You know what? For me, one of those picks, edge. And we are talking about Josiah Stewart. Oh, wait. Grab that.
Oh, he blew.
Grab that right there. Grab right there. That Josiah Stewart. Hey, speed edge rusher. And I know that you believe that this could be one of those sneaky good picks for the Detroit Lions.
Absolutely. And no, I'm not just being happy, slappy Michigan fan. Josiah Stewart, I think, is somebody who will be available at pick 60 if the Lions should stay there. And it's somebody that the Lions should absolutely consider. He's got it all. He just plays effing football. He had 8.5 sacks last year, 13 tackles for loss. And when it comes to the metrics, a 27 pass rush win rate, which was the best in his entire class. He can defend the run as well. As you can see right there, you'll see him rushing from the left, bully that tackle, collapse the pocket, forces a sack. He's got more power than somebody his size should, but he's also got the speed. I love that. And he can stop the run. The pitch out to Nate Carter, Josiah Stewart keeps contained, buries him for a loss. You love to see that. He's got the tape. He's got it all. That one, he does a stunt to the inside and gets to the quarterback for a sack as well. These are from 2023 highlights. You got a lot from 2024 as well. And then this one, look at that. You'll see the replay. He there's a power rush on the tackle, and he's able to shed the blocker and force an errant throw. On this one, another run stop. Forces contain, is disciplined, stops Travion Henderson for a loss. He can stop the run as well. Comes unblocked in this one, puts his hand up, bats the ball down, which was huge during that Iowa game.
Brother, his speed just jumps
off. Down from behind because he does have that speed. This one won them the college football playoff semifinal. He diagnoses there's a run, collapses it, gets him on the ground. This one right here, Derek Moore actually gets the pressure, but Josiah Stewart cleans it up. Love to see that. This one, a speed rush. Just that. Actually, he's the one on this one, dropping back into coverage and diagnoses the screen, buries the running back for a tackle for loss. This is the speed rush. That tackle has no chance. That left tackle, Josiah Stewart, just murders him for the sack on Mikey Keene. This one chases the running back down from the backside, unblocked for a tackle for loss, almost a safety. This USC game might have been the best game of his career. Pause it. Actually, you know what? You can't really see that, but pause that right there, if you would, KG.
Sorry, my bad. Bam. Hold on, I can run it back if you need me to.
Run it back.
All right.
Run it back to that previous one, because this might have been the most impressive Josiah Stewart rush all season long.
Talking about this one?
Yes, this one. Look at how quick this man gets to Miller Moss. Look at how quick
highlight him on the point.
Look how
so they know.
Yes. That's all the way at the beginning.
Oh, damn.
No, that's all right.
Jump back on me. This thing's a little finicky.
It'll give me some opportunities as well to ask a few questions here, because obviously his speed is what jumps off the film already. What are some of those other techniques that you've seen him be able to utilize to get into that backfield, and where do you believe this Detroit Lions, I believe that this defensive, their coaches and positional coaches are in line to help these players develop?
Well, it's because he's got the speed, which obviously you need to have when you're a bit undersized, because he's only 6'1" and 240, which isn't necessarily great, but there are a lot of guys in the NFL who are dominating while being under 250. It's the fact that with Josiah Stewart, he's got that underrated power. He can bull rush. He can push left tackles who outweigh him by 50 to 60 pounds into quarterbacks, collapse pockets, and when he's engaged in a block, he does use his hands very well to shed blockers. Like I said, the best pass rush win rate of any player in this class, and you see it. He is an all-around pass rushing savant, and as I said before, he plays the run a lot better than given credit for. You can actually start it on this one. This is the run stop, which chases that from the backside, but just be ready for it.
Yep.
Josiah Stewart is going to be right there on the right. Look how fast. Go ahead and play it. Look how fast he just murders this left tackle and gets to Miller Moss. Miller Moss doesn't even have a chance to breathe before Josiah Stewart is just on him. And then this one as well. You see him rushing from this side. Look how fast he gets there. Forces the sack fumble. Kenneth Grant. And then this one right here. Power, speed, collapses pocket. Done for Will Rogers.
And what I like about him is I believe that his skill set is so complementary of what the Detroit Lions already have here. You're talking about some space eaters in the interior who will be able to help to spring him. And one of the things that I really liked is this, and help me understand how much you believe the Lions will be able to depend on this as he develops. His ability to drop back into coverage and diagnose plays and almost look like a linebacker out there in stopping it, whether it's a run or whether it's the bubble plays. How well do you believe he can do that at the next level?
That's to be determined, honestly, because he's been more of a pass rusher. You've seen examples of him dropping back into coverage. One of them was on a previous play here, but
he's showing some flashes.
Yeah, at this point, I think he is projects to be an outside linebacker type. This is one of my favorite plays all year, by the way, when he chases down Aidan Childs, forces that fumble. Aidan Childs, I know you don't like that. Aidan Childs is a damn fast guy, and this was, I forgot which one this was.
It's Northwestern.
Okay. You can go ahead. Hey, there's another one right there. Oh, that's the Northwestern one. And this one right here. Look at that power and just shedding the blocker at the end. Just has the tackle on skates before he even knows what hits him. Josiah Stewart, he's a football player. He's got the numbers, he's got the metrics, he's got the talent, and then when you look at the tape, it just jumps out at you. His only crime is that he was born a little bit shorter than you would like, and he needs to bulk up a little bit. Yeah. And he's got an arm length that isn't necessarily the most ideal. I think what's going to scare teams is more the height than the weight, but I think if you take a Josiah Stewart, you get a steal because he is one of the most refined pass rushers in this entire draft class, and I think the Lions would greatly benefit from him at 60.
Oh, man, that would be a good one. So this is one that, man, if they went after Myles Garrett, obviously, like he said, the questions are shut down. But part of me is hoping that there is some nuclear option where there's a little bit of F them picks, but maybe a player of this caliber also falls to the Detroit Lions too, to get as much in those trenches lined up. Because I know you said maybe there's a pathway for the player that you're going to profile as well. But KG, man, any questions for the man Flannel Sam up here? This was a great profile breaking down Stewart and just really highlight Hader.
Yeah, I don't know if he ever projects to be a number one edge rusher, a guy that gets 10 to 15 sacks, but he will be a guy on a team who is that undersized outside linebacker who gets consistent pressure and would probably be really good as your number two, he's a very different player, but be a Zadarius Smith, but just the outside linebacker version
almost
instead
like
of the
James Houston before the injury.
Well,
kind of, sort of. He kind of reminds me of like a Josh Pascal that's actually a little faster, that can rush the passer a little bit better. And Flannel, I love Josiah Stewart. We talked a lot about Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant, rightfully so. They're first round guys, but Josiah Stewart had just an underrated year rushing the passer and getting after the quarterback. My question is, do you think he is somebody that can possibly challenge for a starting spot on this team? Like, we all know Aidan Hutchinson is your 1A, but can he be that guy opposite of Aidan Hutchinson week in and week out?
Maybe not in year one, but if you bring him in, if you put him on this rotation, he's a guy that, especially if he gets in the weight room a little bit more, learns the system, maybe by year 2 or year 3, he's a guy who's playing some of the most snaps as an edge rusher. I really believe that. And I think he's got versatility. I think he's got what the Lions really value too, which is the ability to stop the run. I think he's smart. I think he's coachable. I think he's a Dan Campbell type guy. Like I said, maybe not year one because they have Zadarius, but at the very least, we saw what happened to the team last year. What if they don't make a move? What if they rely on the draft and there's more injuries? Maybe Josiah Stewart will be thrusted into duty before you'd ideally like, but he's got the skill set to, I think, contribute right away.
Yeah, and you said the word there. Beyond just the speed that jumps out is the versatility, and that's why I asked about the flashes that we saw of him. Potentially being able to diagnose a screen pass or being able to diagnose where the run is and make sure to be a part of stopping that. And that, to me, is what we know, one of those identifying factors for the Lions when they go into the draft. Versatility. We talked about that all draft season, and it played into a lot of what the Lions did last draft season.
Go ahead. Yeah, shout out, I think it was Lunchbox in the chat. Sam, what would you comp him as?
It's really tough to talk about a comp. I will say this, and this is one of my comp. I would say a poor man's Nick Bonito, a little bit of an undersized outside linebacker who's just a demon rushing the passer. Not as good as Nick Bonito, because Nick Bonito had 13.5 sacks last year, but that archetype. Although, I don't know, Josiah is a little bit more of a, he can put his hand in the dirt as well.
What do you think of NFL.com, their comparison with Azeez Ojulari?
I don't hate that one. That's actually a good one. And I actually think that that's the type of production you could get from him, because Azeez Ojulari is damn good. He's undersized. Yeah. He's more of a linebacker than a defensive end. His only problem is that he gets hurt a lot. Azeez Ojulari that's a good one, because I think Azeez Ojulari in a lot of ways is a poor man's Nick Bonito. That's the more accurate one if you don't have to add any caveats.
I like that, man.
Right. Yeah.
I like that. What about you, JB Smooth? Anything for the man, Flannel Sam?
I mean, I'm just upset that you had to sit here and put the Michigan State highlight in there.
Oh, you know that was going in. Come on now.
That wasn't cool. But no, I give credit to Stewart as well, too. He's a good player, plays tough. I mean, you got to be tough playing at Michigan as well, too. I think adding him to this Lions team could be really fierce competition that, we could add on to this team. So I'm with it. He is a little undersized, but you know what? I think once you get him here to Detroit, we can work on some things.
Yeah. I'm wondering, as we go through these profiles as well, how this does influence what the Chap family is wanting Brad Holmes to go after. Is it the experience, or are you seeing some guys that remind you a little bit of like the type of impact you saw Jared Verse have this previous season?
Yeah, I mean Jared Verse was a demon as a rookie, and he reshaped what I think the Rams feel that their ceiling is. He was a big reason why they got to the playoffs, and I don't think Josiah Stewart is going to have that kind of an impact in year one. But for a defensive line that needs some depth, I think that he's the type of guy that you could bring in, and then as he continues to develop, he will be a contributor. I think he's a guy that has a high floor. He's got a lot of experience. He had a couple of years being very productive at Coastal Carolina before he came to Michigan. And you also have to remember, he has experience being more of the man, which he was last year, and being on a loaded rotation, because in the 2023 National Championship season, Braden McGregor and Jalen Harrell were still there, and Josiah Stewart played more limited snaps. So he's used to playing that kind of a role as well, even on a collegiate team on a very talented defensive lines. And that's probably where he's going to fit in more, at least early on in his career, as a rotational piece on a very talented defensive line. The Detroit Lions, hey. If you're watching, if this doesn't convince you, I don't know what will.
And I'm seeing people in the chat, ADES411, he says Dwight Freeney type, Mitten Maid, Derek Barnes a replacement. Justice League, I see him in the chat. Stewart is basically a Dwight Freeney.
Yeah, I see Hoofhearted. I feel like he has a good comparison. Kalijah Cansey. He said it's the same thing with him. Small guy, really talented, but his size means more injuries. I don't necessarily agree with that part of it, but I understand where he's coming from.
I think what he's trying to say is that Josiah Stewart may be the Kalijah Cansey of outside, of like edge rushers, because Kalijah Cansey, he was an undersized defensive tackle, but you've seen him be productive during his time with the Buccaneers. Some Lions fans even think that they should have got him instead of Jack Campbell, and they have a leg to stand on. No disrespect to Jack Campbell. The point is Kalijah Cansey, his size hasn't really hurt him, and I don't think Josiah Stewart's will either, because in the NFL, especially with mobile quarterbacks, especially with just the way that the offenses are more spread out, you need a speed rusher as well who has that element, who can chase down quarterbacks like an Aidan Chiles, for example. Not that Aidan Chiles is that caliber, but you understand what I'm saying.
Hey, you got some love in the
throw
chat.
that out there, huh?
Hey, Easy said, great job, Sam.
Thank you.
This is a great profile, great breakdown. Edge rusher, Josiah Stewart, out of the great University of Michigan, man.
Yeah, and trust me, as I'm not trying to be a slappy, and like when you really look into his film, when you look into his numbers, when you look at, even though some of you don't like it, some of the more important PFF stats like pass rush win rate. If you don't like grades, you got to like pass rush win rate. Josiah Stewart is in the upper percentile, even higher than guys like Abdul Carter. Not saying he's Abdul Carter, just saying that Josiah Stewart knows what he's doing. He plays effing football.
pressures, 9 sacks on the year.
8.5.
8.5.
8.5.
No, he had a damn good year.
No,
And-
Josiah Stewart may have been the best overall player on Michigan this past year.
Yeah,
you could argue Mason Graham as
Yeah.
well, but Josiah Stewart has an argument.
no disagreements.
Yeah.
None.
Hey, you know what? Let's get into this next one as well, because I know KG has something planned for you all for the next prospect. But Flannel, this was a great breakdown.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Did my best.
Hey, no, you did a great job, man. Hey, chat family, go ahead and smash that like button. WUW Crew's putting in that work. Appreciate these guys for the work that they're putting in for our NFL draft coverage. Hey, let's say what up though to Jars, huh?
Yeah,
you gotta
Jars
get people
Cannabis. I mean, you got to get well with Jars. Skiers and snowboarders, attention, get ready to send it on the 14-foot drop-in ramp with 3 custom features at the brand new Jars Utica location parking lot this Saturday, February 22nd, 1 to 5 p.m. Jam-style competition judged by 3 guest pros, $8,000 up for grabs, so I hope you're ready. Register over at jarscannabis.com/JarsRailJam. And it is open to skiers and snowboarders. You must be 21 years or older. Limited to only 50 participants, so sign up today as soon as you can. DMAC and Stick will be out there doing a special broadcast 2 to 4 p.m. Spectators are always welcome. The event is free to attend, and there's free food with any Jars Cannabis purchase. Live DJs, giveaways, drop in, cash out, and as always, get real.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like DMAC. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? You should see what I did there. Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
It's the Les Stanford Sign and Drive sale. Get a 2024 Envision for only $239 per month, or try out the 2025 Sierra Crew Cab Elevation for only $249 per month. Don't forget about the 2025 Hummer EV SUV for only $789 per month. $0 security deposit, $0 due at signing, $0 first payment, $0 acquisition fee. Get to Les Stanford today and check out their massive inventory at the Sign and Drive sale. Les Stanford, Buick and GMC, lesstanford.com.
Get you that soot.
Hey, and we are back. That's up, man. Hey, it's Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you all for choosing to kick off the day with the WUW Crew. We got KG, who's going to be coming up here next. He's one of our other resident ball knowers. Did a lot of good during last year's draft, and his number one, we did a top 5 prospects at 5. I know he and Broder were both kind of lockstep with Terrion Arnold. And remember the night of the draft, we were wondering what the pick was going to be, and Broder broke the news that the Detroit Lions were so intent on trading Terrion Arnold that for drafting him that they would even trade up for him.
Yep.
So when that went down, it was dope to know that we were providing accurate and well thought out and well strategized and real well planned coverage, and we look forward to bringing that to you this year. I know Figer Law, they were excited. They got 6.5 million impressions from the draft coverage during that time, and a lot of that has to do with the coverage that you guys are bringing to the forefront. And KG is going to talk to you guys about Landon Jackson, Arkansas edge. And when you talk about Josiah Stewart, speed, and a little bit undersized. You would say 6'1", about 245, about the same build as a James Houston. This was on the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
When you talking 6'7" and 280, man.
No, absolutely. And that's what jumps out right away when you look at this guy. 6'5", 273, almost an 83-inch wingspan. And I'm going to go through a quick write-up real quick before we play the highlights. But, yeah, man, this guy, he's lengthy, but he's not short on power. He's not short on strength at all. And he also runs a 4.6 40 from the defensive edge position. So, this guy got some wheels. He runs a 4.6 40 from the DN position.
At 6'7" and 280?
Yes.
Okay, that's a freight train.
My man, he is not messing around, man. So, you got to give him some props there. 4-year player in the SEC. He did spend time at LSU his first year, but ended up transferring because he wasn't getting the playing time. But, I mean, he got to Arkansas, man, in his first year of actual playing time. He had 4 TFLs, 3 sacks on 23 total tackles his first year. In year 3 and 4, he just exploded, man. 14 in 2023, 14 TFLs, 6.5 sacks on 44 total tackles and 1 pass defense. That's 2023. 2024, 10 TFLs, 6.5 sacks again on 49 total tackles, and 3 passes defended in 2024. Now, I do think he got injured in the bowl game that they played, but overall, he's somebody that's had first All-SEC or first team All-SEC honors, and he followed that up with a second team All-American selection. And man, when we get into this film, and Chase, I'm a tag on you in a second, but just some quick things that I noticed. Versatility. And we all know what the Lions love. They love versatility. You already know. Shout out Spencer. You already know they love players that are versatile, that can do multiple things when they're out there. And he is somebody that impressed me, man. He, on the defensive line alone, he can do interior stunts. We talking 3 technique. We talking wide 9. If you want to stand him up and have him rush standing up, he can do that as well. And a lot of things that I like about him, he excels at setting the edge, man. He gets to his spots pretty quick. But you know, just because of how big he is, his speed is what really sneaks up on you. Like, you think he's just gonna bull rush you, and then he hits you with some speed, and you caught up in the wash after that.
Object can mirror closer.
Yeah, no, that it's real, man. He's not afraid to use his size and strength on tackles, but he's not dependent on that, and that's something that you like out of a young player. He doesn't just rely on his physical attributes a lot. He's a really smart player, and I'm gonna get into that a little bit more as we go along. But he knows how to use his hands. He's got pass rush moves, man. His cross chop is pretty nasty, and I do have a highlight that's kind of highlighting that against Alabama. He has a nasty cross chop. He can bull rush you. Like I said, he can swim. He can literally swim around you,
You got
man.
the
So,
Alabama take, because I know the word on the street is that he wrecked their whole game.
man, he had a lot of like multiple sack games, bro. Like, to me, he kind of went slept on. And you know, it's Arkansas. They kind of trying to get back to relevance, but the fact that they had a defensive, he's a disruptor. That's what I describe him as. He's somebody that can come in and automatically disrupt. Real quick. Capable of changing direction and doesn't get locked into over pursuits. And I think that's something that even Aidan might have struggled with when he first came out. He's gotten better at it since being in the league, but having this as a young player already coming out the gate, I feel like is a very good skill. Exactly. We've seen, and not just our guys, you see young edge rushers struggle with this when they come into the league because they have to adjust for how strong some of these offensive tackles are in the league. So
one of the things that really caught my eye when you just kind of look into their body of work and who they are when it comes to practice, off-season work, and all of that. This guy put on over 40 pounds to his frame at Arkansas alone. But he's chiseled. That means that this guy is working his tail off to be everything that you say as it relates to the explosion. And for me, I can't wait to see the tape, because one of the things that I kind of picked up on is instinctually he just has that feel for the game at the edge rush position, the timing, getting off the edge, when to do his moves to get into the backfield, to get into pursuit. So,
but the last 2 attributes that I really liked about his tape, to me, are his IQ and his high motor. And you already know we love high motor players here in Detroit. This is why we love Hutch, is because he doesn't take plays off. He's there every single play, giving it his all. And you see a lot of that in Landon Jackson, man. He has great play recognition in the run game as well. He's not one-dimensional. He can play in the run just as good as he plays in the pass. He has gap integrity, can get backs on the ground pretty quickly, and he has a pretty pretty decent lateral movement. You would like to see that improve a little bit at the pro level, just based on some of the speed that he'll face. But he is somebody that can handle that responsibility, and he can drop back in coverage. Like I said, I mentioned the passes defense. I do have a highlight in here I'm going to show as well. And he can fight through double teams and be in chip, man. And that's something that you also want to see out of a young player as well. But Chase, you can go ahead and hit that tape real quick, and this first play I feel exudes his motor. If you just see him on the top half of your screen right there coming around, look how he just splits that double team right there, and we're going to get another replay at that. But I just love his commitment to just not being afraid of the double team, engaging, using his power and his body to just get through there. The second highlight is against Texas and Quinn Ewers. He's almost beaten on this play, I'm not going to lie, but look how he adjusts mid-play and still able to get home and get that sack on Quinn Ewers, man. That was pretty good. I love this right here. He outpowers the tackle, man, and gets a strip sack right there. They're gonna run it back, but just
jumps off the screen. His motor.
Look at how he swims around. Oh, actually, this is a different play, but this is against Alabama again, I think. But yeah, look how he just blows that tackle up, man. Like he can use speed. He can use bull rush moves. You see him here in the run game, not giving up his gap integrity, staying inside, being able to read and diagnose the play quickly. And this is another run highlight as well. You see him getting to the outside, stopping that kind of speedy back from getting more yards than he should have. He stopped him on about 2-yard gain right there. Could have gotten more, but that's some of the lateral quickness that I was talking about. And here is the pass defense, one of them that he had during the year, and they're going to highlight it right here. He's the one that circled, and just look how seamlessly he drops back into coverage. He's not second guessing it. He's reading, he's diagnosing, and he makes a play on the football. Could have had an interception right there. And we've seen Hutch make plays like that, being able to step back, read the situation, and get an interception or 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 for his career. So I like a lot of things about this guy, and I even dare to say he could be a star in this league if he gets the right coaching, if he gets in the right system, and if the Lions don't end up trading that first-round pick for Myles Garrett, I feel like they have a good chance to get this guy, because he's one of the better edge rushers in this draft, but there are guys placed above him at this moment, so I think it's a good chance he could fall.
That's what I was going to ask you is a couple things here. Where do you see him going in this draft? And obviously every draft season, the question is, what is that NFL draft comparison for you?
Well,
that player comp.
I think we'll get to the player comp. I think a lot of teams will begin to notice, especially as the combine and pro days and stuff go on, the type of just physical raw ability that this guy has. But I think once they get him in the room and they realize, oh, he's intelligent too. Like he can actually, like his play recognition, how he recognizes certain things on the field. I think teams will notice that, and he may go higher than what he's projected to go right now. But right now they still have him slated as possibly a late first-round guy, maybe early second. So if the Lions don't use that draft capital, they may have a chance at him. And to me, I know there's different draft comps out there, and I know you looked up one. We'll get into that. To me, he kind of reminds me of a Trey Hendrickson, maybe just a tad bit smaller, but in terms of the speed and how he gets in the backfield and just the multiple ways that you can use him, he kind of reminds me of Trey Hendrickson in that sense.
Hey, dope. And I know NFL's comparison was Logan Hall as well.
It's not bad. It's not bad, but I think he has the potential to even be better than him, man, because he has just a lot of raw skill and ability. You can't teach size, and he's the perfect combination of just IQ, not relying on his speed, but somebody that can still utilize his speed and strength.
Yeah, and obviously the other question is this, as it relates to him, you believe that he has that ability to potentially hit the ground running day one, or you're looking for him to kind of ramp up as the season goes?
I think he does have potential to hit the ground day one, because if you put something like this next to an Aidan Hutchinson or bookend him with an Aidan Hutchinson, I think that unlocks a lot on this defensive line. He's somebody that can come in, and while he is a little bit raw still, he's somebody that can adjust to the game quickly. And I feel confident in what Kelvin Shepard and Casey Rogers can. And Casey Rogers is the key defensive line coach. I think he would love to have somebody, an athlete like this on his defensive line. And I feel like if he doesn't start right away, he can become a starter in short order.
Hey, man, and you know what, man? I'm looking here. Greg says beast mode, man.
Yeah, no.
Greg also says, I agree, Ken. Let me see this. Skydog says he keeping his eyes on where the ball is.
Yeah.
Especially when you see him drop it. There's the play right there, dropping back into coverage. That was pretty dope that he's reading the quarterback, because the quarterback is going through progressions. and you're taking one of your rushers off the line. You know what I mean? So the quarterback might have a little bit easier time, but he's still able to diagnose, read, survey, and make a play.
And you notice some defensive linemen, when they have to drop back in coverage, sometimes they second guess themselves. Sometimes, you know, they're worried about trying to be in the right position. It's kind of seamless with him. It's natural. But that goes to just show you how he can diagnose a play quickly. And it's not just about being able to get to spots quickly. It's also being able to diagnose and react.
Yeah, look, Randall Small said he's going to move up after the combine.
No, I think so. But this is somebody that the Lions should have on their radar, and I feel like he's a Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell type of guy. He loves football. All he cares about is football, and I can see him coming in and fitting this culture perfectly. I could.
Hey, definitely, man. Another
Sam,
great breakdown.
you the other draft coverage guy here. Yeah. I got to get show takes on just what I've said about Landon Jackson. I know you've seen some of his tape as well. What do you feel about the player?
I mean, I think if you were to rank him in terms of edge rushers, that he's higher than Josiah Stewart. I will admit that. I think he's somebody that if you don't get him at 28, you probably won't get him at 60. He's got the size. I think and honestly, that's more important, the fact that he's just a physical beast. He's got more power. I actually was really impressed by him dropping back into coverage and making that pass.
And he has multiple plays like that. That's just one.
No, call me impressed. Call me impressed. Like I said, I will openly admit, Landon Jackson, if I were to just in a vacuum, better prospect than Josiah Stewart.
Okay.
I like him, man. You know what? It's cool because through this process, just like last year, you guys were able to profile realistically all of the different players at the positions of need, and it was cool to see how things played out because some of those players are here. Vaki, right? Manu.
Yeah.
Mahogany.
Shout out Broder for Lad McConkey. He hit on that one.
Great take.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I take this stuff seriously because you might miss out on a guy like this.
Exactly.
What he's breaking out with Josiah Stewart, it's like, you know what? We know how we are as fans when our guy isn't there. But what I found comfort with is how you guys break this stuff down, and especially just ahead of this draft season. The Lions have a lot of options.
Which is why I say the draft will be there, so I wouldn't – fans shouldn't worry too much about the draft because even if he does, let's say, make a big move, trade the first round picks away, he's somebody that's good in later rounds, and he will be able to identify talent. And but if you don't, you got a guy like this out there, I think that's a pretty damn good move.
Shad said Jackson is the truth. He's an actual baller. And Broder says, did I hear Lad McConkey?
Yeah. Hey, shout out Broder, man. Shout out
Broder, man. Hey, you know what? Another great breakdown, man. This was Landon Jackson, man. He's explosive, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, just what jumps off the screen is disruptive, and he just has kind of this natural instinct, and that motor just doesn't stop.
Yeah,
so.
I can't wait to do more of these breakdowns. I started to do Nick Scorton. I ended up changing my mind and doing this one. I saw somebody in the chat saying Nick Scorton could arguably be the best pass rusher in the draft. A little bit. I saw some of the tape. Not, it could have been better, but we'll get into that on a future episode. But man, that's Landon Jackson.
And we got ball knowers, we got puck knowers, we got hoop knowers, we got all types of knowers.
Hey,
we got one of our puck knowers on the line.
Speaking of puck knowers,
yes, we do.
We've got Justin is going to be joining us when we come back.
Shout out.
Preview the Big Four Nations final between USA and Canada, which is, man, we are all on pins and needles about
shout out Canada Bob in the chat, man. The only Canadian in there going hard for his team, man. We appreciate y'all, you joining us on the show today.
Appreciate you for tapping in.
Canada Bob.
And just because it's happening tonight, I'm going to tell you about the watch party.
Damn right.
Hockey fans, join Woodward Sports Network this Thursday tonight at 8 p.m. at RJ's Pub in Rochester Hills for our live watch party of the USA vs. Canada championship game. Catch the battle of the border with great food, cold drinks, and the best hockey atmosphere around. Can't forget to thank Bitter Tom's Distillery, which offers an inventive twist on modern-day craft cocktails for keeping the spirits high that night for everyone. Don't miss it. USA vs. Canada, Woodward Sports and RJ's Pub. See you there.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Big Injuries? Big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza. They're still continuing on their signature wing deal that they've got going on right now, even after football season. 7 different flavors up there, as you can see on screen. Grab your friends, order a New York style pizza, and add some wings onto that order as well too. And remember, if you can't go in store, you can always order online at Sorokis.com.
And we are back. It is Wake Up Woodward. And you know what? The WUW Crew got a lot of different family members, and we get to welcome one to the show this morning. That is that dude, Justin, Mr. Justin Satawa, because we got to talk Team USA versus Team Canada hockey. Look at you already.
USA. Hey.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you're making a special trip in for the watch party as well?
Yes, I will be. I will be live at RJ's for the watch party. We are so excited for tonight. Oh, I'm so ready.
Hey, Justin, what are your top keys to USA victory over Canada tonight?
Well, the first thing is you got to shut down McKinnon and McDavid at some point. And I know that's a tough ask, but you saw the presence of Charlie McAvoy with that big hit in the first period kind of set the tone for the game. With him out with an illness for this final, you're going to need someone to step up. You're going to need the Chucks to step up. You're going to need some of the defensive core. You're going to need them to be more physical and step up from the loss of McAvoy. It's going to be interesting if Quinn Hughes finds his way into the lineup, but you're going to need that physical presence that you saw them impose in that first game. If you let McKinnon and McDavid run wild, it's going to be a long day for the Americans.
Charlie McAvoy was so huge in that first win, but we're going to stay positive, and the way to stay positive is to talk about how Dylan Larkin performed in that game. I know that on Woodward Wings, which we'll be dropping some episodes maybe today, you had mentioned that Dylan Larkin was a candidate to maybe get some more minutes, get bumped up to a higher line, and you saw that in Canada against Canada, and you saw the impact that he was able to make, maybe being the most valuable offensive player in that game. Maybe a little biased, but still, it's arguable. What did you see out of Dylan Larkin, and just how proud are you that he is the Red Wings captain right now?
Extremely proud. I mean, he is just showing his class that he deserves to be up there with the top centers in the league. They gave him more minutes. They showed him the faith that he should be the third-line center and be on the second power play. He leads the NHL in power play goals, so it was a little bit confusing why he wasn't out there for the first game against Finland, but they corrected that, and he played a lot better. The increased role for Dylan Larkin seems to elevate his play, whatever that looks like, whether it's for USA where he's more of a support player or where he's carrying the Red Wings offensive load. He really is showing his true class and his ability to be a two-way player. His goal was created by him being a two-way player with great skating skills. That's the NHL today. And you're just proving to me more and more that I believe that Dylan Larkin could be a true 1C on a championship level team.
And you know what, Justin, what we're seeing right now out of kind of Team USA versus Team Canada and what's made this game even that much more popular is the passion, the rivalry, the national pride and things of that nature that was on display in this game. Are you expecting some more fireworks tonight between Team USA and Team Canada after, obviously, them booing our national anthem and then us handling it?
Yeah, I think that the environment tonight is going to be very interesting because they're in Boston, they're not in Montreal like they were, and I think that the Americans might boo the Canadian anthem, and I don't know how the Canadian players are going to feel about that, and it's going to be interesting. Are they going to feel like they need to stand up for their country, or they feel like they're going to drop the gloves and try to make this physical dominance? But I could also see the USA being like, all right, we lost Charlie McAvoy, one of our physical presences on the back end. We need to make sure that we establish that physical presence from the jump. And the same game plan, getting them off their game. I know that they're coming in off a loss, which is not the best thing in the world, but they were so focused on that Canada game. They weren't even in the heads of Sweden. They weren't worried about it. They're going to be so amped for this game. I would expect fireworks. If not for the fighting, there's going to be a lot of big hits, and they're going to be targeting the best players on the ice. Canada's going to be targeting Hughes, Matthews, and we're going to be targeting McKinnon and McDavid all game, and Crosby. We're going to try to not let them get going.
I was going to ask you, what is that strategy to make sure that this team gets that quick start to be able to control the tempo and the pace of this game?
It's that first goal, and it's going to be establishing forecheck, and that's a great thing that they did in the first game against Canada is they were able to get pucks deep and get a lot of pressure on them, forcing them to make turnovers and make mistakes, and then they were able to, out of that, create a lot of traps where they were able to get big hits off of McDavid, and I just think that you're going to have to see a very similar game plan to what the Panthers used against the Oilers in the Stanley Cup Final, and how they were able to just take control a lot of those games by throwing off McDavid with the physicality that they brought throughout their entire lineup. And this is where the teams differentiate. The Canada team is a true all-star team. They have the best players that you could think of in Canada, maybe with a couple of sums. The Americans were built to beat the Canadians, exactly how the Panthers were built to beat the Oilers. So I'm interested to see how they're able to lock it down defensively and bring up their physicality to be able to match the skill that McDavid and McKinnon are going to bring with this Team Canada squad.
You know, Justin, I just want you to respond to a statement I'm about to make, and I just want to see if you agree or disagree. If the USA were to win tonight, and by that win the Four Nations tournament, the MVP of this game and this tournament has to be Connor Hellebuyck.
I would say that's a very fair statement to make. I would not hate it at all. I don't think that there's been any player that's been dominant in terms of playing every single game the way that Hellebuyck has when he's been in there. He really has looked great, and I mean, you might have went with the Chuck brothers, but they both missed time during this tournament. Hellebuyck was sat just for rest reasons, so I do think that Connor Hellebuyck is probably the MVP of the Team USA team right now.
Young Justin, my dog, what's up with you, man? Good to see you. And I just wanted to ask from the local perspective, what have some of the Red Wings players look like in this Four Nations tournament so far?
Well, we just touched on Dale Larkin, so let's talk about Lucas Raymond. I mean, tied for the lead for Sweden's points, plus on the tournament, really showed his class, and he continues to impress me. And on these episodes of Woodward Wings that me and Flannel have coming out, I think that the passing ability of Lucas Raymond reminds me a lot of Pavel Datsyuk, and the way that he's able to manipulate defenders and really create that space to make plays. The only player that it's really reminded me of is Pavel Datsyuk. On top of that, he's really elevated his game in the neutral zone and back checking and playing defense and into the transition game. Really impressive for a player who's that young to go on this stage and be arguably one of Sweden's best players. Lucas Raymond deserves all the flowers in the world, and he is just continues to raise his stock on an exponential rate.
Yes.
Yes.
I was just going to say, see Drew in the chat. He says, if Larkin scores tonight and they win, Lark's MVP. I need your take on that too, Flando, as well as Justin.
I think it would depend on how much he scores. Is he going to get dinged too much from being not really much of a factor in the Finland game, or maybe not? I don't know. I think Larkin would have to score multiple times and at big times like he did in the first Canada game in order to get the MVP for this tournament.
I completely agree with Flannel. I think that it would have to be a point, a goal, and maybe an assist or another goal. He's going to need multiple points, and on top of that, he's going to need the moment. He's going to need that moment where he scores a game-winning goal in the third period or in overtime, and that's going to be what pushes you over the top, because in these type of tournaments, in these type of games, when it's moments, it's the memories that you remember forever. I remember a couple years ago, I was in Miami for Trey Turner hitting the Grand Slam in the World Baseball Classic. And that's a memory, that's a moment that's going to be etched in history forever. Sidney Crosby's golden goal in 2010, scoring in overtime, like that is a moment. That's the moment that Dylan Larkin will have to capture to get MVP, in my opinion. It's because Connor Hellebuyck has just been absolutely terrific this tournament.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different possibilities. You could look at both Kachucks. You could look at Jake Gunsel. You could look at, I think you could have maybe looked at Charlie McAvoy, although it won't happen. Hellebuyck. But Dylan Larkin, he's entered his name into the ring if he has another one of those big games tonight. Like, shoot, if Dylan Larkin, I'll tell you what, if Dylan Larkin has 2 points and one of them, I'm not trying to manifest it, but it's an overtime game winner.
Manifest.
Just say, maybe I should manifest it.
You score the overtime game winner, you have every right to be in the MVP conversation. I don't care if you have 0 points in the entire tournament, honestly. If you scored the biggest goal of the tournament in the biggest game, you deserve consideration.
Well, and Justin, before we let you go for this show and then to see you again tonight, what's your game prediction? Who wins, and tell me how it's going to play out.
I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think there's going to be a lot of defense. I think there's going to be a lot of physicality, a lot of back and forth. I think that the Americans come out and strike first, and then Canada responds, and then we go back and forth until it's 2-2. And I think that the U.S. is going to win at the end of the game in the third period. And I do think if it goes into overtime, the Canadians are going to win. They just have way too much talent when it comes to overtime. So I think it's going to be a 3-2, and the U.S. is going to score in the back end of the third period to win the game.
Okay, all right. I like that. For a second, I thought you were going to pick Canada, and I know logically you can, but on a day like today, you know,
you can't do it on a day like today.
You can't do it
USA all day. Freedom, rah!
Yeah, you can't do it just like that either, right? You got to go with Team USA if you got the gear on. But just really quickly, while we got the Woodward Wings representation on the screen, just give us a little sneak peek into Woodward Wings as it relates to this second half outlook. Just a quick summary of these Red Wings.
Well, I mean, going into this second half, we're going to have to see if we can keep up the pace that we set for ourselves as Ty McCullough has taken over. We're playing a lot better hockey. The break is going to be big for us. We were kind of starting to fall off a little bit at the end there. That game against Tampa was a little ugly. You could see the fatigue on the team, and you needed the legs to be rejuvenated. But what I'm really interested to see is how Larkin and Raymond continue to play at a high level. They're continued in the Four Nations, which is a higher level competition, and it's going to be easier when they go back into the NHL game. So I expect us to keep it going, moving towards the playoffs. They're playing really good hockey. And then one thing I'd look for as the trade deadline approaches is whether or not we deal Vladimir Tarasenko or not, and trying to switch things up on this roster and lean even more towards the youth movement like we have been, and they've been playing well, so I don't really see why there's a reason not to.
Yep, and I would say that it's all about, well said, Justin, by the way, it's all about surviving the East, holding off teams like Columbus or Ottawa, Boston, both New York teams, Islanders and Rangers, because it's going to be a gauntlet, and I think it's going to be about goal prevention. You need better performance from the PK, and you need a couple of hot stretches from either Cam Talbot or Alex Lyon to maybe counteract a couple of games where they give up 4 or 5 goals.
Hey, well, you
Yep.
You can't give away games against the lower tier teams, whether it's and not even necessarily the low tier teams, the teams that are in the bottom half of the NHL, the Seattles of the world, the Sharks, like those teams that are just meddling around playoffs. But like, you have to win those games. We have to be beating teams like the Flyers, who are just outside the playoff race. You have to continue to beat those bubble teams. You don't necessarily have to beat the best of the best, but if you can beat the teams that you're supposed to beat, and you can split the games that you're supposed to split, you're going to be there at the end. There's no doubt about it. And at that point, you just got to hope that your top players can top player.
Hey, and you know what, man? I see all the love in the chat. I see the American flags. I see the Go USA. I'm seeing I miss Datsu. That's from Scott Owens, and Scott Owens also says Go Wings. This was a great breakdown, and aside from Team USA versus Team Canada and tapping in with Woodward Sports tonight for the watch party, even rewatching this segment again to get hyped before the game, Make sure you guys stay tapped in with some of the new content that is coming to the network. You guys already heard about Woodward ringside with our elite booth of KG and JB. But we do have Woodward Wings that is going to be hitting the platform this week from these two other gentlemen on the screen. And I'm glad that you guys have tackled this.
Yep, we've recorded 6 episodes already. Ooh. The videos are made and put together. The thumbnails are made as well. So be looking for those probably this afternoon, depending if we can get a nice little upload scheduling system going out. But that's the goal. At least get the backdated ones up this afternoon.
Hey, great job, man. This has been a...
One more thing from me, because I was watching the show before I came on. Landon Jackson, nice frame, nice athleticism, and very explosive off the ball. That'd be a very nice pickup for the Lions, whether that be in the first or the second round. He's kind of got a middle of the pack, late end first round, early second round grade. So I would be very interested in that pick by the Lions.
Hey. Just as I was about to compliment, like the ball, nowhere, and knowledge, and then he just, let me throw one else in there too. This has been a day when you guys have put your knowledge definitely on display, and I feel smarter. I'm looking forward to this off season. I'm looking forward to Team USA kicking some butt today, and it's because of a lot of the hard work that you guys have put in for the show.
It didn't help me beat the allegations that I'm a defensive coordinator for the Lions, though. It did not. So
just to let you know, we just got another comment on Woodward Pistons 42 question mark.
Oh man.
Never gonna let that down, man.
14 to 42. That's all I'm saying. Leave me alone, man.
Oh, snap. Well, I know we got everybody's favorite segment on the way, but that dude, Justin, it's good to see you, man. Good to talk to you. Good to hear your this breakdown of this game, man. Great job.
Yep, thank you for having me on. Go USA. Have a great day, boys. I'll see you later for the watch party. Let's get it.
Let's go.
United States, let's go.
Justin time, boy. You look geeked. And just real quick, bro, shouted out your Placido Polanco photo behind you. We know that's your best player, man.
Oh, that is my favorite player of all time right here. Placido
Jaws
Polanco.
of Steel.
I got my That's my dog right there. Don't ever sleep on my boy Placido like that.
Bro, keep crushing the school. Keep crushing the content. Y'all got me cracking up, dog. Keep crushing everything, brother. Be safe out there on the roads.
I will. Don't you worry.
Right.
I will.
Jaws of life right there.
Me and Placido. Maybe I should bring Placido to the watch party tonight.
Oh, my God. Let's rock, brother. All right, Justin. See you soon, bro.
See you, Justin.
Peace out, guys.
I didn't want us to argue for the next 5 to 7 minutes because we've got time. We need to get to.
You gonna argue Placido?
How that's anybody's favorite player is just. And my favorite basketball. My favorite basketball player of all time. I'm a big Mehmet Okur fan. Favorite basketball player.
He was good.
My favorite Lions player, Khalif Raymond. Big time. I'm just saying.
I wouldn't compare Placido to Khalif Raymond. Placido was a little better than Khalif Raymond.
No, actually, my favorite, Graham Glasgow. My favorite Lions player is Graham Glasgow.
You being a little disrespectful. You being a little disrespectful, man. That's the Jaws of life right there.
My favorite Lions player, Amik Robertson. My favorite.
Hey, Eric Ellis said, Jaws of Light, head of beach ball. What?
Justin is still on the line if you guys want to argue
this out.
Of course he is.
I mean,
it's crazy, Justin. He up here disrespecting Placido, man. What Placido do to you?
Nothing. I just don't know how he's anybody's favorite player. But
That's
I think me
crazy,
and Justin have had this conversation before.
Oh, I forgot. Brandon Edge is your favorite player.
He's not my favorite player.
For somebody that likes Brandon Edge. You said what?
You sure it's not Don Kelly, baby?
It might be Don Kelly, but I know he's a Brandon Edge lover. Like he has a shrine in his house.
I think he's better than some people give him credit
Is
for.
he better than Placido Polanco?
No.
Thank you.
Why is Sean taking shots at both of y'all? He says KG hates young players the same way Sam hates role players.
I hate young players. What? Where is this coming from?
I don't know.
Some bullshit, man.
Oh, stop.
Chad, I ain't gonna lie. Y'all been on some bullshit lately. I love y'all, though. But, I'm talking shit.
Hey, you know what? Let's get into the next segment because it's everybody's favorite. I've already seen people mention it in the chat. That is what's trending. Let's rock, brother.
Yeah, we can just get into Feldman and hop right into it.
Absolutely. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit FeldmanAuto.com to find the location nearest you. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
Somebody who's very comparable to Placido Polanco, JB Smooth.
Hey,
Let's rock.
How I get thrown into this? I don't understand how I get thrown into this.
Look, Eric Allen said Polanco was a multi-gold glove award winner. Had a season where he had no errors.
Sam tripping, bro. I ain't gonna lie, Sam tripping a
I'm
little
not
bit.
saying there's anything wrong with Placido Polanco, but as your favorite player, like
I used to like Johnny Damon a lot. Is that a problem? Like
Johnny Damon clears Polanco.
Well, duh, but I'm just saying.
I just
like,
had Polanco's like 2-inch vertical jumps up the third base line, like just seared into my head.
Yeah,
after,
man.
What was that, Mags?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it just, you know what, Polanco, man, I get it to a degree.
Placido was solid, though.
Well, anyway, let me hop into some What's Trending news for you guys. A little bit of news. I don't know who broke their news first, but it is one of two of Flannel's favorite people out there right now. One, Miss Porn Star Bonnie Blue announced that she is now pregnant.
Miss 1K.
Hi, Bonnie.
Miss 1K announced that, you know, she is now pregnant after sleeping with over 1,000 men in a day. She is now pregnant. Also,
you got to strap up.
She's the consensual Genghis Khan.
Sam ready to go. Look at him. I see him moving his head. Sam ready to go. Is she gonna be a meth addict too?
Yes.
But wait, not only Bonnie Blue, also one Miss Lily Phillips also claims she is now pregnant too.
Congratulations.
Are you disappointed?
When you sleep with that many men at the same time, you don't even know who the dad is. So the kid's gonna grow up in that environment, knowing that their mom was a whore. I can't. We cannot condone degeneracy in culture.
Yes,
we've
we
gone
can.
too far.
That's
the
all-
bag. Do
That's
whatever
all
you want for
life
the
is.
bag.
That's all life is at this point, is degeneracy.
They will be meeting their eternal damnation when they both die before the age of 40. That's what's happening.
Damn.
After they have strung out on meth or heroin or whatever, because
Flannel Sam with the IFB church tape.
it ruins you. When you do this, it ruins you.
Damnation, hellfire,
Easy
brimstone.
says, LMAO, I'm pro-ho. But JB, please keep him saying the bag. Everything from the bag.
No, Sean, I'm actually a respecter. You're a woman hater for condoning this.
Shit. Just because they do content doesn't mean they gonna be heroin addicts. That's all I'm saying. That don't mean the trajectory is heroin addicts.
Also, over things that would normally maybe get them, but this one got them.
No, Genghis Khan. That's all I'm gonna say. Genghis Khan, baby. Like, look up history. This is consensual Genghis Khan.
This is wow.
I love Easy's comment. I'm pro ho.
Yeah,
I'm pro. Right. I'm with Easy. I stand with Easy. I'm pro ho, man.
I stand with Easy on this
Jordan
one. But
from
hey,
MI says he'll be the stepdaddy.
Hey,
Oh, no, wait. You'll be the dad that stepped up. Oh, by the way, never be a stepfather ever. That's my advice to young men. Never be a stepfather ever.
Do you know from personal experience, Sam?
No.
Samuel, come on now. Talk to your boy KG. Have you been a stepfather? Why are you saying that?
Samuel,
that kind of seems like taking over somebody else's loan.
Right. Well, being a stepfather could be a beautiful thing.
But like, you don't have any. What if the kid is just like, you're not my dad. You can't tell me what to do.
Why, but now you got people claiming the kid in the chat, bro.
I mean, a lot of people can claim these kids. Let's be honest.
I mean, I guess if you want to like get off, like piggyback off the bag, but it's dirty, filthy money, and us as men, we need to be better. We can't be condoning this.
What about gambling money? Is that dirty, filthy money?
Yes.
Easy is killing me in the chat.
Dog,
too,
Easy
dog.
talking about dick is a gateway drug. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Dog, this is crazy. Oh shit, dick is a gateway drug.
Caine's a hell of a drug.
Like all of them, like
it can be.
dog.
It absolutely can be. My boy Flannel is cursing her to hell.
No, and actually, just like a quick digression, Justin actually just texted me Placido was an all-star. That's fair. I'll give you that.
Get on his ass, Justin, please.
I did not expect this to go that way, but I guess so.
I made it very clear that I don't
what you
condone
was doing,
this.
JB. You knew goddamn well what you was doing.
But anyway, moving on. I got an episode of Can he lift it? And I need you guys to give me your opinion on it.
Oh, wait, what?
That is 3,000 pounds on a leg press machine.
And look how little this motherfucker.
Why
Come on,
are they?
dog.
Why? Why? Like,
No,
why?
dog.
So,
no.
I paused the
Have
video.
better
You
friends.
guys.
No.
I'm pausing the video right now. Is he going to be able to lift this?
No.
No way in the fuck.
3,000
No.
pounds. No.
Look at him. Look at his legs.
But he said he paused
Fucking
it
chicken
first.
fucking legs,
JB,
bro.
Does there need to be a sensitivity warning at all?
No, there really doesn't.
Oh, wait, that means
play
he
the
gonna
rest
do
of
it. He gonna do it.
He ain't gonna be able to budget.
Nah, he gonna do this shit. Watch. Or they all gonna fall
Get
on
it.
him.
Yeah.
Dog, stop! But you
Nope.
break something,
Nope.
dog.
He gave up.
You asking for a hernia, bro. Like,
Dog, nah. Have better friends. Your friends gotta tell you no. Absolutely not.
That is a fail. He was not
Hey,
able
bro,
to lift
if you
that.
do this impossible thing, you strong as heck.
yeah,
What kind of encouragement is that?
why are you in Planet Fitness doing this shit, bro? Like, this is a ploy for attention,
Like if you
dog.
jump off
Like,
the bridge and fly, man, you're Superman.
yeah, just do
Like,
your
what?
just do your fucking workout, man. I hate to be like Sam here, but no, hellfire, brimstone, damn they shit. Just work out, goddammit.
All
What
going
you
to
doing?
everybody's going to hell today.
Just do your damn workout. Finish your
Live
damn
from the
workout.
Planet Fitness Studios, the Judgment Free Zone.
I'm
see
judging.
you, man.
I don't
Players.
care. I'm judging.
No, I'm big judging for
Players
sure.
said Judgment Free Zone. Come on, guys.
No, I'm big judging.
Yeah, I'm judging. I'm judging.
That's why they made the lunk alarm for motherfuckers like him.
Oh my God.
And finally, I will end what's trending with this because it's just another bad day after bad day for people out here. I don't know how this video started, but I know it just did not end well.
Oh, I hear Peasy in the background. This ain't gonna be good. Oh, my man. Damn.
I mean, he made it into the garage.
I guess.
Goodness.
That's
He
What
was
is the matter, dog?
he
Like,
was
what
damn near ghost riding almost. He's almost ghost riding the whip.
if door was open.
Right.
Like, what is going
All he
on
had to
with
do was
people?
hop out and be next to it.
like I said, I don't know how this video even started, but this is the back of people's houses that this person just apparently ran into.
What the fuck, bro? What is
Door
he on?
open and everything, bro.
My man got to be high or fucked up on something. You don't just do that.
Unreal.
Absolutely unreal,
But that's it
dog.
for what's trending today, you guys.
I'm just pulling into the garage. I don't need to let the door up. I got it. Like, goodness gracious. Is that a show?
Yeah.
I think that's a show. It was a good show, too, man. Once again, like, here. Let me throw this. Sammy.
Got me all worked up.
Yeah.
Hashtag pro whole life.
No, man, yes, this was
Pro
another show
hoes.
with you guys. I laughed
Pro
until I
hoes.
cried, man. Hey, the chat was on it. The crew was on it. Just everybody, man. And shout out to you guys for staying tapped in with the WUW Crew. Shout out to our brother Matthew Broder who's in the chat. Easy. That dude Justin for joining the show and still working hard on the show. Kavasi Chase the same way. What up, though, brother?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope you guys have a good one. We'll see you guys tomorrow, Friday show. We got hopefully a Victory Friday, and then you got Big D Energy coming up in 58 minutes, Ermanni and Edwards, and then the heavyweights wrapping it up for the rest of your Thursday, and then leading you up into the weekend. Cool stuff going on this weekend. Woodward will be at Monster Jam, Ford Field, Saturday. We got the official word, so look forward to that. Fun time with the boys, and so stay tuned. Hopefully we got some cool stuff to share with you guys next week.
Let's rock, man. This elite booth. We talking about Myles KG, a.k.a. Black Hollywood. That's Detroit's #1 draft pick, rookie of the year. Going for MVP. What up, though, bro?
Hey, I do it all, man. Y'all know that. But I can't do this without y'all. So shout out to my team, man. This was a great episode, man. Looking forward to next week as well. And shout out to everybody in the chat. Leave me alone about this goddamn 42, man. 14 to 42. And for anybody that's out there that's got a hoe near and dear to your heart, reach out to him, man. Reach out to a hoe out there. and just let them know that you think about them, man. We support the hoes here.
Just don't let
On
them
Wake
get
Up,
your cash.
we are very pro hoe.
Well, there's a
correction.
Guys, I'm not.
80% of Wake Up Woodward is pro ho.
If you're playing the field, that's different. If you're sleeping with 100 or 1,000 men in like 24 hours, you deserve everything you're gonna get.
Except for that, baby. Goodness, I feel bad.
Yeah.
What
Feel bad for that baby.
That crack baby, future crack baby.
Yes.
It was a meth baby. Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth. JB Smooth, I know you're bringing no meth babies into this world. What up, though, brother?
No meth babies.
He might
at
got
all.
one out there.
No meth babies.
JB
at
got
all.
one.
But you know what? You do you. Shout out to everyone in the chat as well too. Hashtag pro whole life. You know.
Goddamn right.
Women's rights. That's all I'm saying.
Right. There you go.
Pro ho.
There you go.
You do you.
Oh, man, and you know what, Flannel Sam? Great job with the breakdown as well as UKG. Red Wings correspondent, all sports knower, Go Blue lover. What up, though, brother?
Hey, just gotta say, Damari Green in the chat. Sam is absolutely right. Never become a stepfather. It is a thankless position.
Damn. Okay.
Damari, you don't have to be a hero. Put yourself first, King.
Put yourself first, King.
This is your boy, Brandon Dan, KG.
I bet Damari pro-ho. Pro-ho.
So, bro, I'll start off the show with that. Are you pro?
Right.
Smash that like button. Hey, it's your boy, Brandon Dan, KD, Trey Kool-Aid, Credential Pistols reporter and writer for the network. This has been a great show. If you haven't got the opportunity to, go ahead and smash that like button, share the stream, share it with other people. If you agree, disagree, put it in the comments, man. And if you laughed, definitely put some laugh emojis in the chat. JB Smooth's What's Trending is always epic. But we appreciate you, chat family, as always. I see we went up over that first like goal, and it's epic, man. Thank you guys for all the support. It's have a day. It's been Wake Up Woodward.